Nice colour on you, Denise. I like
Thank you.
blue.
Okay.
You'd fit beautifully in here.
Yes, with your blue background, yes.
You would match the background beautifully. Right, just get rid of people that aren't coming. She's not coming. Melanie, I don't think is coming. Good. Is Tia not here? That rhymes.
I hope she's okay.
She did tell me she was going to be away for a bit, actually. I was just being
good.
No
Okay.
memory when people tell me that, because there's 45 of you or something, so I never ever remember.
Yeah.
Good. Right, so Sarah, you here? Yes?
Yeah.
Yeah, good. Right, so Denise, last week we did a reviso of the letter A group, the E, the U vowel group. Is that correct?
Yes.
We didn't look at the formation of the imperfect subjunctive, did we? We didn't look. Did we start looking at the stuff? Did we look at that or not?
I think we started looking at a little bit of it. Yeah.
Okay. So to quickly remind us then, whatever we've done with our passé sampler, and all we said, the purpose of the passé sampler was for you guys to go into the normal past, and that just meant finding a verb with an auxiliary. Yeah. So in other words, what we call the non-literary equivalent of the passé sampler is the passé composé. All right. I made the point, and you found a lovely example, Denise, that it's not that the passé composé is extinct in books. Some books will write in the passé composé now rather than the passé sampler. I was looking at some examples for you guys for later in this class. Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. So Harry Potter is written in passé sampler. Percy Jackson, the Lightning Thief is written, and the Percy Jackson books are written in the passé composé. Yeah, so we'll look at that later. So you do still need it. Our imperfect subjunctive is super as common, as follows. In the spoken language, if my phrase on the left is in the past, but still requires a subjunctive, we don't care. We use the only two subjunctives we've done so far, which is the present tense of the subjunctive, fas, mangeant, whatever, pris, soit, whatever. And then we have the possibility, if the bit on the right had a have or a had, we were going to a and soit plus the past tense. E.g., Luc has eaten, Luc a mangé. I am happy that Luc has eaten. Je suis content que Luc ait mangé. Yeah. I am happy that Luc does the work. Je suis content que Luc fasse le travail. And in spoken French, if we said, I was really happy that Luc was doing the work, spoken French would go, well, how would you try and go to translate that, Denise? How would you go to orally say, oh, you know, yesterday I was really happy that Luc was doing the work? What would you go to say?
Hier, j'étais très contente que Luc faisait le travail.
Fasse le travail.
Oh, fasse le travail.
So we go to the same normal subjunctive.
Right.
Brendan says, the guests are happy that there is, whatever, that there are lots of towels. Les invités sont super contents qu'il y ait beaucoup de serviettes. How did it go? Oh yeah, the guests were really happy that there were loads of towels. Les invités étaient super contents qu'il y ait beaucoup de serviettes. We would use the subjunctive again, the normal one. We don't give a fuck in modern spoken French. We just use the normal subjunctive on both sides. Is that clear so far, all three of you? Yeah? All right. So the phrase on the left. So you know in subjunctive we have the dominant clause. That's me. And then we have the subordinate. That's you, Bren. So I'm going to pin you the fuck down. And it doesn't matter what happens if the dominant clause in the spoken language is also in the past. We still go to the normal subjunctive in spoken French. But in books, we've got this possibility of going to this imperfect subjunctive. In fact, we have to go to this imperfect subjunctive for most, classical proper stuff. And the imperfect subjunctive then is beautifully easy to conjugate. Beautifully easy to conjugate. All of the passé samplers that we did last week, you are going to go to the he form. So quick, Brendan, what is the he form of he ate in a book? Il mange, the passé simple. Il mange.
Il mangea.
Good. Denise, what is he drank? I drank is j'ai bu, irregular u ending. So what is he drank in a book? Il
bu.
Good. Sarah, have you looked at this? You weren't there last week, were you?
I was not, and I did view the second class of the first.
So in other words,
when Brendan saved the guy.
Entendre, if I gave you entendre, what would be he heard in the passé simple? Any ideas? Il
entend.
So look at Lucky. Our three main groups are ERs going to the letter A. Parler, parla, parla, parla. I'm just done Spanish with Louis. I'm like, hablé, hablaste, habló, hablamos, hablastes, habla. Parler, parla. Oh, Jesus Christ, I'm literally going Spanish. Parler, parla. Parler, parla, parla. I was going to say parlamos. Jesus Christ. Parlam, parlat, parler. All right? It would go to those. Anything that was irregularly U, few exceptions, would go to the u. Remember, the bottom three are mutterer people, mutterer. And the ones in the middle just catch everything else, it just goes e. So therefore, if I've got entendre, Sarah, it's not an irregular u, so it's going to go entendi. All right? Entendi. So, therefore, all our other stuff, vin, fi, bu, u, whatever our passé sampler is, we are going to add the sound s for all bar one. I'm going to shout you a sound. You guys are going to say it back to me with the sound s on the end. Quick as a flash. Brendan, fi, back at me.
Fils.
Good. Quick as a flash. That was fucking slow. Denise.
I turned the microphone on.
Deuce.
I warned you. Sarah, poo.
Peace.
Thank you. Brendan, beza.
Des.
Bezas. Denise, moru.
Moruse.
Lovely. Sarah, vin.
Vanus.
Bullshit. What? I can't stand people that don't listen. What sound have I just told you to add on the end of the word?
Is.
No, I didn't.
Us.
What sound did I just ask you all to add on the end of the word? Brendan, what sound did I ask you to put on the end of the word? What sound, Brendan? Good. Sarah, vin. Back at you.
Vance.
Thank you. Isn't listening fun? Try it. It's a new hobby. It's in. Honestly, it's taking off on TikTok. The kids are loving it. Are they fuck? Listen. Fuck me. Good. Sarah. Devin. Back at me.
Duvans.
What sound is going on the end?
Duvans.
Thank you. Toucha. Sarah.
Touchas.
Thank you. Motherfucking Christ. Good God. Brendan. Fallu.
Falus.
Actually, to be fair, we don't get to do that one. I'll explain why in just a moment. So the fact is, that is going to give you 5 of them. You're going to go parlas, je parlas, tu parlas, il parla is going to sound the same normal passé sampler, people. The same as the normal passé sampler. But it's going to be spelt with an accent. If the verbs you have looked at thus far have involved nous and vous, parlam, parlat, hat and hat on them. Finim, finit, hat and hat on them. Boom, boot, hat and hat on them. You've seen hats so far. on a lot of verbs. But you haven't seen it on the he form so far. If your verb doesn't have a T, you're also going to add a T. So the passé simple is going to go parlas, A-S-S-E, parlas, A-S-S-E-S, as, you can imagine it's going to be spelled. Parla hat T. Because he spoke is il parla, P-A-R-L-A. So, and the imperfect subjunctive is parla with a hat on it and a T. So every time in today's lesson you need to talk about that tense, you are going to say hat T. So he had, Brendan, in the normal passé simple, what is he had?
Il eut.
Good girl. And that would ordinarily have, because it's not the ER family, so U would be EUS, EUS, EUT. You do see the S's and the T's in the non-A group. So, you know, Denise, like fini, 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 entendi, entendi, entendi. There's obviously going to be S's and T's there. But even on the ones that have already got a T, you're gonna add a hat on the imperfect subjunctive. So I want you to say for me every time hat T, even if your verb has normally got a T. Even if your verb has normally got a T, just say hat T. So you're going to go parlas, je parlas, tu parlas, il parla, hat T. Use your hands. Nous parlassions. So we're going to still use the sub, but we've got an eon like we would have in the normal subjunctive of, you know, Sarah is happy that we are whatever doing, you know, Sarah est content que nous fassions. Sarah is happy that we're eating. Sarah est content que nous mangions. And then we're going to go we're going to go parlassier again, an IEZ, and then we're going to go parlas. So it's going to go, your endings are not as. As is not your ending. Yeah, as is the beginning. As is not your ending. Is is not your ending. Us is not your ending. You are adding a fucking s to your normal word. There's no as ending. It's not palara. It's not palaras. It's palas. Yeah. All right. So one sec, Denise. Let me just do the and then I'm going to test you. So if you had, for example, fee, you'd with S's and T's on it and things like this, change it to smidge. Fils, fils, fee. Hat T, fission, fisier, fils, moru, morus, morus, moru, hat T, vin, vince, vince, vin, hat T, like VIN and the T, vincion, vincier, vince, fut, which was ordinarily FUS, FUS, FUT, a passé simple of which verb? Sarah, do you remember what fut was? Which verb the fut was in the passé simple? Any ideas?
Être.
Good. So the was would be que je fusse, que tu fusses, qu'il fut, with a hat on it, and the T would be there anyway. Fussion, fussier, fus. Denise, what was your question?
You just answered it.
Yeah, like if the word doesn't, it wouldn't be like fitis or any crap like that, because it's not an ending with the vowel. The ending is just the consonants, all right? So that is literally how it's going to work. Bren, my love.
Oh, so with the je parleas, is it?
No, right. Listen to Lukey. When I asked you to find the he form, yeah,
yes,
that is going to be the stem for everybody. As I've just said, when I've repeatedly just said, parlas, parlas, parla, hat T, yeah, parlas, finis, fini, finis, finis, yeah. Which sounds quite like the present, I'll admit. Fus, fus. So your spellings are USSE, USSES, ISSE, ISSES, whatever. You know, so you've all got enough spelling in you to know that there's going to need to be a double S to create this S sound, and you know that there's going to have to be a vowel after that. Okay, so we'll have a look at it. So I am going to ask you to create the following imperfect subjunctives. Denise, Luke was happy that I was there. Luke was happy that I was there.
Luke
Stand still.
Foo.
Stand still. Which
Shoot.
clause goes into the subjunctive? You're not standing still, you're trying to talk. Which clause goes into the subjunctive? The one on the left or the one on the right?
The one on the right.
Gorgeous. Subordinate clauses go into the subjunctive. Dominant clauses don't go into the subjunctive. There are expressions that you go straight into the subjunctive, like after connectives like pour que, conjunctions, you know, pour que tu fasses, you know, whatever, you know. But no, so there we go. So I was happy that you were subjunctive. That you were, I was happy that Luke was happy that I was there. Off you go.
Luc fut...
Stand still.
Luc était content.
Thank you.
Luc était content que je fus là.
Stand still.
I'm not getting it.
Don't do the toddler thing, it pisses me off immensely. What is the he in the verb to be in the passive sampler? What's the verb to be in the passive sampler?
Il fut.
Good, now stand still. What tense are we going into if we have a past tense on the left and we need a subjunctive on the right? What are we calling this tense? The imperfect subjunctive, yes? And it's the one we're currently working on. What sound that I've just spent 6 minutes of my life, I shall never get back, are we adding for all people bar the he? What sound are we adding, Denise, my love, for all people bar the he?
S.
Thank you. Let's just go back to that then. And can you now say, Luke was happy that I was there?
Luc était content que je fusse là.
Good. The only one you'd need to panic about, Den, would be like, que je fusse là, que tu fusses là, que nous fussions là, que vous fussiez là, qu'il fusse là. Que, let's say Luke was happy that Phil was there. Luc était content que Phil fut hat-t là. That's the only one you'd need to worry about. The only one you'd need to worry about would be the, you know, that. Okay, so off you go. So Brendan, you'll go. It was important that Luke did the work. It was important that Luke did the work. Off you go.
Il était important que Luc fisse le travail.
Is Luke a he, she, and an it?
Oh, yeah, que Luc...
A little bit of all three. So what the fuck is it going to be? Que Luc
fit hat-t le travail.
That's it. It's like, wouldn't it be useful if I explained the rules to you? Oh, hang on, I did. Repeatedly. Hat-t, C on C8, on the end of your passive sampler. End of. End of. Hat-t, C on C8. All of them are Sarah, what is Luke spoke in the normal passive sampler? The normal passive sampler. Luke parle, what's that going to be? Luke parle. Your microphone, darling.
Luke parla.
Good. Now on the left we've got it was that Luke speak to the so and so and so and so. You know, fine. It's going to have to be in the passive sample. It's going to have to be in the imperfect subjunctive. So in other words, it was necessary. No, it was necessary that they speak. And even though in oral English we'd say they speak, which would be present tense, we know that in French it's not going to work like that. So say for me, it was necessary that they spoke French. Let's go with that. It was necessary that they spoke French. Il était nécessaire qu'il. What's it going to be for they spoke? Il parle.
Il parla with a hat T.
Not he, they.
Oh, sorry.
You're utilizing I's and L's. I know, don't lie to me. I know what you're doing. They spoke. Il parle.
Il parlas.
Thank you. All right. Should we go around again? Good. Denise. He wanted her to die. Go dark. He wanted her to die. He wanted her to die. Denise.
Il voulait
Good.
qu'elle mourût.
Don't pronounce it wrong, but you're absolutely right, my darling. Qu'elle mourut. I think there's
Mourut.
elements as well. I've seen this before where because you're used to saying she died, elle est morte. When you get the M-O-R-U-T, people then think that's got to have an E on the end of it. No, no, no. Qu'elle mourut. Qu'elle mourut has T. Nice. Brendan. She wanted you to die. It's less common here too in books, but it exists. You know, she wanted you to die. Elle voulait que tu...
Elle voulait que tu mourusses.
That's it. That's it. Whatever your normal passé simple is going to be, stick a s on the end of it. Whatever your normal heat passé simple is going to be. Right? Good. Lovely. Sarah, do one for me. What is the verb to go out, Sarah?
Sortir.
So would it be in the passé simple normal? Would it be the A group, parler, parla, parla, parlam, parlat, parler, reserved for ER verbs? Would it be in the U endings, reserved for irregular verbs which end in an U, with the exception of vu, which is the, or moru? Or would it be in the big fucking stick it all in bin in the middle, which is all the E shit? Which the E. So which group is it going to be in, Sarah, if the verb is sortir? Which one?
The middle one.
The middle one, the E. So we go from the letter A. Don't say A, E, U, because it's not the sound. It's the letter A. Parler, parla, parla, parlam, parlat. So yeah, four of them. A, am, at. But your top one, parler, AI. Your bottom one with the letter E. So it's not clever to go the A family. Think of it as the letter A apart from the fucking E at the bottom. Or you might like to call it A, E. The E all the way down family, im, eat, ear, and the U all the way down. You've still got the commonality in the passé simple of your m, t, r in the bottom three. So you might like to mind map and think passé simple is about m, t, vowels and muttera. Parler, parla, parla, boo, 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 fee, 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 you know, whatever. Muttera, theme, feet, feel, boom, boot, bure, you know, parlam, parlat, parler, yeah, whatever. And that your imperfect subjunctive is mind mapping about s. All right, good. So your oral equivalent of the imperfect, no, I shouldn't say oral, your non-literary equivalent then of your imperfect subjunctive is what? What is your non-literary equivalent of your imperfect subjunctive? I have given you the answer already. Who's going to tell me?
Irregular subjunctive.
Fuck me hard. I need a defibrillator. Well done, Sarah. Good. Yes, absolutely. That's all it's going to be. So let's go back. Brendan, what was the non-literary equivalent? Why am I interested in the non-literary equivalent? Because that's what you guys have got to do. You read the book, you go, oh, great, beautiful French. Let me make this normal. Denise isn't going to go and speak to people in the passé simple. She's going to go and speak to people in gorgeous, glowing French. She fucking well next to you in buzzers on it. I have to go and get you all. We're ready for 2024. It's meant to happen. What are we going to do? Convert it orally. Now, right now, we're taking French phrases that Denise can do standing on her goddamn head, and we're sticking them in the passé simple. When you get into books, it will be phraseology and bits and pieces and new verbs. Denise might go, I want to read this story and learn some French that way. And then she's going to go, oh, what would that verb be normally? That's why it's important. Right now, we're taking stuff that is just so easy for you all orally and going, why are we doing it in this dumbass tense that we don't even need? But do you take my point? Yeah? Lovely. So, Denise, if you read c'était bizarre qu'ils s'en prissent à moi. C'était bizarre qu'ils s'en prissent à moi. Okay? What would that be? I mean, you wouldn't always use this tense, but what would it be? So c'était bizarre qu'ils s'en prissent à moi. What would that be in normal oral? Don't even tell me what it means yet. Just convert that expression into the normal non-literary. What would that be? C'était bizarre qu'ils s'en prissent à moi. What that's going to be? C'était bizarre qu'ils.
C'était bizarre qu'il sont
Yes.
pris,
What verb
sont,
is
sont
prise? What verb is prise from?
sont prendre.
That's it. How did you work that out? So in other words, you go prise, you remove the se, you're left with pris. That then tells you that we are in the prendre. Yeah. So c'était bizarre qu'ils sont pris à moi. So what's the present subjunctive going to be? C'était bizarre qu'ils sont.
Qu'ils sont.
What's the subjunctive of prendre normally?
Qu'ils sont.
Prennent.
Prennent.
That's it. This is totally normal. We're looking at words, and when you look at words, I'm activating the part of your brain I bust a ball sack to try and turn off, which is your visualizing while speaking. Madam in the bottom here, you can't see the order of people on my screen, but Sarah is a big visualizer. I'm like, if you're gonna read fucking properly. It is a disastrous tense to teach people who do not want to, who are trying not to visualize, but it's necessary. Yeah, good. All right, so in other words then, lovely. Now we have 3 more tenses to go, but they're super easy, because the fact is they're only going to be on the next line down, because they're going to be about the verb to have and the verb to be. So thus far, all of you have gone present was, will, would, subjunctive, infinitive. Present was, will, would, subjunctive, infinitive on the auxiliary. And God, it broke you, but you guys got the point of doing that, and you realised that it gave you access to all of the spoken tenses. So now all we're going to do is say passé simple and imperfect subjunctive on their own, passé simple and imperfect subjunctive as auxiliaries. So very briefly, Sarah, what was the passé simple of the verb to be? The passé simple of the verb to be, Sarah.
Fut.
Good. Fut. What was the bottom? Fume, fut, fur. Mutterer, F-U-M-E-S, with a hat, F-U-T-E-S, F-U-R-E-N-T. Sarah, what was the passive sample of the verb to have? It's going to rhyme with what you've just given me. What's it going to be?
U. U. Oh. U.
Okay. Yeah, what's the passive sample of the verb to have, Sarah? Thank you.
U.
In the third group, because il a eu, irregular U ending. Now, we will see a normal amount of avait, été plus words. You do come across it, all right? This is called the passé antérieur. Okay, this is basically going before your other past, but not entirely, not every time. It's after words in particular which are showing me when this shit had been done, then this. So you kind of would need, you know, so if you had like a character saying, he had often seen his mother's lover, whatever, you know, fine, you could still get that in books. Il avait vu l'amant de sa femme, de sa mère, whatever, you know, fine, you know, whatever, right? But if it's like when he had seen her lover, he decided to kill him or something. So it's after expressions like when, quand, dès que, as soon as, aussitôt que, à peine, barely had he done this, lost, you know. You're going to see it's after expressions which sort of say this thing first, then this thing. All right? Which is one of the reasons why Lukey's a big pusher, particularly with people in possession of an American passport, of using the had correctly in French. Yeah, as in this thing came first, then this, because it lends itself nicely to books. So all we're going to do is basically just use u in the middle plus your normal ending, or fut in the middle plus your normal ending, or or ut, or fum or fut. So for example, Denise. Denise started last time, Brendan. How would you say when she, now it might be that orally you translate this as when she heard the news, she cried. Orally, we might have the tendency to do that in English, hence the fact that a lot of Americans don't like using the ud as much as Brits do. Brits are a little bit more likely to say, you know, after she'd heard the news, she then did this. American speech much prefers after she heard the news, she did this, which is common, you know, parlance. All right, that's fine. So in other words, Brendan, what would be when she had read the book, she cried. So what would that be in this tense? All you're doing is putting the passé, all you're doing is putting the middle word in the passé simple. So what would be when she had read the book? Quand elle... Bren, Luke is lazy. Just headbutt his fist. There we go. I'm being lazy. Bren. Sarah just reminded us what the passé simple was of the verb to be and the verb to have. What auxiliary are you going to use if you said he has? How would you say he has read? How would you say he has read?
Il a lu.
Great. And what tense are you switching the middle verb into, my darling?
Eu.
Thank you. So would you now say to me when he had read? Thank you. And this is called the passé antérieur. This is the anterior past. Okay, off you go.
Il lu.
Yeah, continue lu. There you go. Don't worry about saying it too much. You ain't going to be saying it out loud. You're just going to be reading it. You are going to be reading it. You are going to be reading it. I've got some for you to look at. Okay. Denise, when, and then the next one would be in the normal passé simple. So quand il eut lu, whatever l'article. Brendan, how would you say he decided to do something? He decided to do something in the passé simple. Il
décidé de
in the passé simple. Il décide.
Il décida
de faire quelque chose. Yeah, de faire quelque chose. Right. Good. Denise, it doesn't have to be quand. I just teach it with quand. When Luke had left, the students clapped. When Luke had left, or after Luke left, après que is a common one. Small, little bit of interest for you. A lot of these words which invite the passé antérieur. I've never heard any of the French teachers say this, never. And I think it's such a good point, are the list of words which invite the future in the future. Do you remember we've spoken about when you say in English, oh, when you come to my house, Brendan, I shall attach you with the gentle chains, you know, I won't use the hard ones. French goes, when you will come, in normal oral French. We've all spoken about this, haven't we? Yeah, okay. And a lot of the words which invite that, as soon as, when, you know, dès que, aussitôt que, après que, they are on this list that invites the passé antérieur as well. Because it's kind of like, when this shit's being done, this shit will be the case. So you might just like to sort of go over that again and you'll see some commonality. Not all of them, but some of them. Right. So Denise then, so what would be when Luke had left, the students applaud. The verb to applaud is applaudir. Off you go. So when Luke left, the students applauded. What would that be? In a book.
Quand Luc fut partir, les études...
Quand Luc fut parti.
Parti,
yeah?
oui.
Yeah. But what's
parti.
interesting is your mouth had no problem saying that because you've got no muscle memory of saying it. You would never, Denise is so leagues beyond saying elle est partie. You just wouldn't say it. She just wouldn't say that in a zillionaire. Okay. But your mouth had no problem because your mouth is thinking that you're saying Luke, first verb, infinitive. So your mouths aren't used to saying foo and poo and all of this, foo and oo yet. So your mouth thinks it's like a first verb which has been conjugated. So the next one's going to be the infinitive. That's the rhythm that you guys are going to be reading the passé simple with for the moment, which is impressive as much as it's completely fucking wrong, because it shows that you've got the muscle memory of doing something else. Yeah, but be mindful, all right? So quand Luc fut parti, up you go, the students applauded. I'd like the normal. So the students applauded. The verb is applaudir. What would be the students applauded in the passé simple?
Les étudiants applaudirent.
Good. Brendan. No, Sarah. Taper dans les mains. Taper dans les mains is another way of saying applauded. Yeah? Okay. What is the passé simple for they going to be with the ER verb? Notice I say ER. Dine out on it, people. You won't hear it a lot from me. Enjoy. Enjoy. You will not hear ER from me ever again unless we're talking books. I don't say it, do I? So, but we're talking reading. So taper. So what's the they form going to be, Sarah, of the normal passé simple for taper?
Taper.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. I just heard something weird. What did you say?
Taper.
Stand still. Would you please, for me, tell me which group ER verbs are going to be in the normal passé simple, Sarah? What have we called this group?
The ER verbs.
What did we call the three groups? And I've given you in this class. I've given it you in this class. What did I divide my three passé simple main chunks into?
ER.
No, I didn't, Sarah. I gave them one thing, another thing, and another thing. What were they called? Letter what? If it's an AR verb, what family is it going to be in the passé simple?
The A group.
The A group, that's right. If it ends in an U in the irregular past, which group is it going to be in?
In the irregular group.
No, if it ends in, oh, come on, Sarah, I've given you this, my darling. Don't coast. Don't coast. You've been to Europe. You had a European education. Don't give me this American shit. What is that? If it's ended in a U in the irregular past, what group is it going to be in? Sarah, look at Auntie Lukey. A group. What were the other two groups? They were based on vowel sounds. What two groups were they? They were what and what, my love?
Vowel sound.
And what were they? Come on, hurry the fuck up. What two vowels were they? We've been using them all class. Passive samplers.
Ear.
Right, I'm just going to get rid of that. 1 second. Remove from call. Right. Brendan, what are my two groups? What are my two groups?
A, E, U. E, U.
Good. What is it going to be if I've got what is it going to be if I've got boo? Which group is it going to go to straight away?
Boo.
Lovely. What is it going to be if I've got do? What group is it going to go to straight away?
Do.
Lovely. Lovely, lovely, lovely. We've got to get, this is just, whatever. I love Sarah, but I'm teaching thousands of people that watch this shit. Thousands. Hardly thousands. Good. Now I'm going to get her back and she's going to bloody concentrate. Give me 1 second. People have got to wake up. People, I know, and it's not like my voice is so lovely and relaxing, and it's not like my face is so bloody handsome as to mesmerize people. Right. Right. Brendan, if we now went to our next grouping then, we are going to put the, what tense have we just done so far? We've done, what have they been called, Brendan? We've done the, tell me the ones that we've done. Tell me the literary tenses that we've done.
We've done the passive sampler, we've done the imperfect, the imperfect subjunctive, subjunctive imperfect, and we did, was it anterior? Oh, it was anterior passé, was it?
Don't make me throw you the fuck out. Denise, what was that tense called? The
passé intérieur.
Good. It's not about me being important. It's about you are sponges. You are linguists. Listen, take it in, take it in. You are sponges. It's not about my opinion is worth more than anybody else's. Me. It's the data. So we've done passé simple, subjunctive, imperfect in the middle. Passé simple, imperfect subjunctive. Passé simple in the middle. Should we now do imperfect subjunctive in the middle? Agreed? Does that make logical sense? All right. So, good. Lovely. Lovely. So can you now Brendan, for me, guess what this subjunctive would be called if it's got was in the middle of it? What is that likely to be called? What do we call the tense with was in the middle of it? In the oral language, Sarah, in the oral language, Denise, what do we call the tense that's got was in the middle of it?
Imperfect.
No, that would be the was. That would be, I mean, when was is in the middle of it.
Oh, the past tense.
Otherwise known as the plu. It's not the past tense, it's the plu.
Perfect.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. Say for me, Sarah. Say for me, because I keep singing Name in Green. Say for me, Denise, he has eaten. He has eaten. Normally.
Il a mangé.
What's he had eaten?
Il avait mangé.
What tense was the second tense you just used?
The second tense was the was tense. I guess it's the pluperfect.
It wasn't the was tense, my darling, because that would be.
The was tense in the past. Pluperfect.
The was tense in the.
In the past.
No, was is in the past. It's not the was tense. Where is the was in il avait mangé? Where is the was? Where is that was? On what word?
Avait in the avoir.
So when we've got the was or the imperfect on the
auxiliary,
then that whole tense is known as the
pluperfect.
That's it. Now we don't normally use that. We don't. We just say present was, will, would, subjunctive, infinitive. Present was, will, would, subjunctive, infinitive in the middle. All right, or on the auxiliary, don't we? All right. So now we're going to put the imperfect subjunctive on the middle. All right, in the middle, on the auxiliary. You know how to form the imperfect subjunctive. Brendan, would you tell me all the imperfect subjunctives of the verb to have?
All the j'avais eu, tu avais eu.
No, Brendan. The imperfect subjunctives of the verb to have.
Je fus.
Of the verb to have.
Oh yes. Je.
No. Link.
Je.
Link.
Jus. Jus.
Yep.
Tous.
Good.
Il eut.
Good girl.
Nous eussions. Vous eussiez. Ils eussent.
Denise, would you care to do the same thing with the verb to be?
Je fus, tu
Good.
fus, il fut with the T.
Hat tea.
Hat
No, with the T. Hat tea. Come on, we'll get it down.
Hat tea.
Yeah.
Nous fusium. Oh.
What the actual fuck? You've just heard him do it with have.
I know.
What's the ending on the imperfect subjunctive? What's the mental link for you? I've said it's got what? The subjunctive endings of eon and ea. Yes? Come on, back you go.
Right. Nous fusium.
Well, no. Den. Look at Lukey. Are we in the mutterer family of the passive sampler, or are we in the family of the imperfect subjunctive?
We're in the S family.
Nobody said S. Are we in the mutterer? Thank you. Lukey gives you the clues. He's not cruel. He gives you the work. He gives you the strategies. Are we anywhere near mutterer?
No.
So would you know? And also, Bren has just said it. So would you run down through the verb to be for me? Off you go. In the imperfect subjunctive, right?
Je fus, tu fus, il fut, hâti, nous fusions.
Denise, I'm
Nous
cross.
fusions.
Good.
Yeah.
What's this shit? Stop it. Go back again. Hurry the fucker.
Je fus, tu fus,
No,
il
Denise,
fut,
Imperfect
had-il.
subjunctive. Imperfect subjunctive.
Et je
Right,
fus.
Yeah. Remind your mouth, Denise. Parlas, parla, parla, hat-ti, parlation, parlasier, parlas. Back you go. All the way down, ion, ea. Back you go. Go with fus. Je fus.
Je fus, tu fus, il fut, had-il, nous fus.
I don't understand. We're on attempt. We're on explanation number 6.
I know.
But you don't know, otherwise you do it. Sion.
Sion. Okay.
They're all apart from the one in the middle, which you've gotten beautifully. On the end of it is the subjunctive eon. We need to pick patterns up. Okay? I'm not being mean. I've got to get your brains going faster. It's part of the training. Eon, ea on the end. You were told subjunctives normally have an eon, don't they? Mangion, passion. Yeah? So
Right.
Parlas, parla, hat-ti. The same shit. Parlas plus eon. Parlas plus eon. Hurry up, I want it quickly.
Je fus, tu fus, il fut, had-il, nous fusions.
I can't even deal with this. One more go. Denise, come on.
Okay.
Fus, hat-ti, fusion. Fusier. Fus. That's all it is. It's s plus eon and ea. Off you go, my darling, please.
Je fus, tu fus, il fut, had-il, nous fusions, vous fussiez, il fus.
Good. Go straight away, Denden, with parler. Parlas, off you go. All the way down. Don't think. Go.
Oui. Je parlas, tu
Good.
parlas, il parla, had-il,
Good. Faster.
nous parlations,
Good.
vous parlassiez, il parlas.
Good. That's it. Hang on. Work, stretch like in a gym. I can't lift any more weight. Work mentally harder. Get yourself up. Good. Now, so they basically, this is when you have a had with a subjunctive. Brendan, although Luke had eaten, he ate a second time. What is the word for although, Brendan?
Vuka or Bianca?
Bianca. Come on, hand off the mouse. Wake up. Behind your foot massage. This is your bloody French class. What's although?
Bianca.
Good. Orally, how would you say Luke has eaten, Brendan? Go, Luke has eaten.
Luc a mangé.
Hurry up, Luke has eaten quickly.
Luc a mangé.
Good man. What would be although Luke has eaten, which would require the subjunctive orally? Although Luke has eaten.
Bien que Luc.
No, look at me. I'm doing this for pittance, for dollars, for mere dollars. You don't get to come and you don't get to give me a subjunctive that takes 6 seconds on the verb to have. Come on.
Yeah, I wasn't sure.
No, but we're in the oral one. Come on, work harder. Although Luke has eaten. Up you go. Although Luke has eaten. Bianca Luke subjunctive.
Bianca Luc a mangé.
Good man. That's what we want from you. Thank you. Orally, although Luke had eaten, how do you think we're going to say although Luke had eaten? Bearing in mind what happened earlier when we tried to do subjunctives in different tenses orally. What do you think it's going to be, Brendan? Orally, the normal version.
Bien que Luc
That's exactly correct. There is no sodding difference. We lose the ability. What else can we do? We can't say bien que Luc mange because that's although Luke's eating. We don't have another subjunctive. We don't have another subjunctive available to us from our repertoire of 2 in the oral language. Do you take my point? But in the book, we can. Therefore, perfect subjunctive, the pluperfect subjunctive, the had in the middle subjunctive in a book. Brendan, what is its oral equivalent going to be? Its non-literary equivalent going to be?
Hat-ti. No.
Brendan, what is if you've just read the pluperfect subjunctives, if you've just read bien que Luc fût-il parti? Yeah, although Luke had left. Yeah, what is that going to be in the oral language? What have we just agreed? What tense did you just give me when you said bien que Luc soit parti or bien que Luc ait mangé? What tense did you just give me, or what mood did you just give me?
Present.
No, because the present subjunctive would be bien que Luc mange. So what did you give me when you said bien que Luc ait mangé? What is that called?
The
I know we call it subjunctive on the middle, but what is it formerly known as? Subjunctive past. The past subjunctive. Yeah, that's all it's going to be. You have two subjunctives, don't you, in the spoken language? Normal one, past one. All right. So, quick reminder. I'm going to look at some stuff. Denise, if you read the passé simple, what tense do you need to create orally out of that, or non-literary? What tense do you need?
Passé simple, the past tense, the regular past tense.
I don't like you saying past. You say it all the fucking time, and I correct you every single time. I correct you every time you say this.
The
Passé
composé.
Don't use past. We just said past subjunctive, but that's an exception. We don't use past because it could be imperfect. It could be like, so we say orally, what do we say, Denise? We say action past or the description, don't we? Don't say past, my darling. You always have a tendency to do it, and it's just beneath you, all right? Good. Brendan, what is the imperfect subjunctive going to be orally? The imperfect subjunctive, what's that going to be orally, Brendan? Or a non-literary?
Yes, I see what you mean. That's going to be.
So if I said Denise said that's going to be what, sorry?
Le que parfait. No. Oh, subjunctive. Sorry. The past subjunctive.
No. Look at Lukey. Passé simple, normal, passé composé. Imperfect subjunctive, which is when the second one on the right in one word. What's the difference between this imperfect subjunctive and the pluperfect subjunctive? The imperfect subjunctive is on one word on the past, isn't it? So what one word tense mood can we take it into? The present subjunctive.
Yeah.
The pluperfect subjunctive was on when there's two words, wasn't it, Brendan? It was on the middle word. So
yes.
What subjunctive is that going to have to go into in the oral language? What subjunctive have we got where this subjunctive is on the middle word?
Subjunctive on the auxiliary.
Yeah, and what do we call that? What have we just said that's called? The part.
Past subjunctive?
That's fine. All right, good. So, relax. Let's read. Hard work out of the way. All right. So, can you? You now go to right, which one shall I add? Right, I'm adding a couple of things. I'm sending you this to the group. Good. Can you open Mm. Lovely. Can you open the first one? Tell me when you've all got it open in front of you. Brendan? I can't hear you. Microphone off, Brendan.
Sorry, yes, I've got it open now.
Listen to Ontaluki. This is from the classic known as Harry Potter, right? Ce n'était pas la première fois qu'une dispute éclatait au petit déjeuner dans la maison de 4 Privet Drive. Monsieur Vernon Dursley avait été réveillé à l'aube par un ululement sonore qui provenait de la chambre de son neveu Harry. C'est la 3e fois cette semaine, hurlait-il. Si tu n'es pas capable de surveiller cette chouette, il faudra qu'elle s'en aille. Harry tenta une fois de plus d'expliquer ce qui se passait. Elle s'ennuie, dit-il. Elle a l'habitude d'aller voler un peu partout. Si je pouvais au moins la laisser sortir la nuit. Tu me prends pour un imbécile, ricana l'oncle. Lovely. I'm going to tell you a verb and you're going to tell me the tense. Ce n'était pas. Brendan, tense.
That's that imparfait.
Good, because it's a description in the book. It wasn't the first time. Monsieur Vernon Dursley avait été réveillé. Tense.
Look at parfait.
Denise, I said. You don't fucking listen, do you? Denise, I said. Good. Lovely. Plus que parfait. Denise, Denise. Hurlait-il, hurlait-il, Denise. Denise, your microphone's not on.
That is the.
Guys, keep your mics on. Hurlait-il.
I'm sorry.
Tense.
That is the tense we've been doing. The book.
We've been doing about 17, my darling girl, so I need to know which one.
That is the imparfait.
Good. The normal imperfect. Nothing random. Nothing new. Yep. Yeah. He was screaming. Because if it was he screamed. So looking at that verb, Denise, this is where we now start learning from books. We've done the hard work, now we get the fun. What verb is hurler from? What is the infinitive, Denise?
Hurler.
Gorgeous. What would that be in the passé simple?
Hurler.
Good. Spelt how? What would the last letter be?
A.
Great. So you will often see hurla-t-il with the hyphen, then the T, then the hyphen, then the IL. Many verbs you will see in the passé simple will be the verbs of what the character says, of how they say it, and then it will go into the quote, which will be normal French. So Brendan, how would you say he said or said he in a book? The said is going to be in the passé simple. What would that be, Brendan?
There's disait-il. Disait-il.
What's the verb to say, Brendan?
Dear.
Which nice E. What verb tense? Which group is that in? Letter A, E, or U? Too slow, Denise. Dear. Is it an ER verb? Is it an irregular verb which ends in an U? Or does it go in my bin, trash can group in the middle?
It's the bin E group in the middle.
Lovely. Do you know a format of the verb to say that already ends in the sound E?
Yes, D.
Which would be j'ai.
JD.
So take that. While you're there for me, please. I know it's a lot of information, but you've done it loads. Are we mentally in the mutterer family, or are we in the S family if we're in the passé simple? Which one, Denise?
We're in the mutterer.
So would you now just conjugate for me the verb to say in the passé simple?
For all pronouns.
Hence conjugate.
Je dis, tu dis, il dit, nous dîmes, vous dites, il dit.
That is it. Brendan, if it's il dit in the passé simple, while you're there, would you go into the imperfect Subjunctive for me, Brendan. What sound do I want for the imperfect subjunctive, Brendan?
Die hat die.
No, generally for everybody else.
Oh, dies.
Thank you. All right. Be careful. You will want to say these because you said it elsewhere. So could you give me all 6? You'll need your die hat die. Well done. Could you go through me on the imperfect subjunctive?
Je dis, tu dis, il dit,
No.
hat.
No.
Oh oui. Je dis, tu dis, il dit, hat-il, nous disions, vous disiez, il dit.
Good. The vowel one, d, deem, dear, elsewhere. Lovely, right? Good, all right? Good. Brendan, could you look at the bottom paragraph just visible? Tu me prends pour un imbécile, ricana l'oncle Vernon. What verb is that from, Brendan, and why? It means to giggle.
Yes. So that'd be ricaner.
How do we know? Good. How do we know?
Because it's in the A category.
It's in the A category. We know the A categories, don't we? The ER verbs. We don't know from the E category. It could be a lot of bollocks. Good. Could you go to the next one, which is number 3? I think I repeated the first one. I do apologise. Could you go to the black and white looking one? Okay. Which is il sortit de sa poche la baguette magique de Harry. Lovely. So Denise, il sortit. Which tense? Which verb?
Il sortit is the passé simple.
Good. Because it's in the E family. And which verb is it there?
Sortir.
So he took out from his pocket Harry's magic wand. Écrivit. Do you remember talking about that irregular last time, people? Yeah. So he wrote, lovely, in the air, in sort of sparkling letters. All right. Good. Brendan. Puis il fit un mouvement. Il fit un mouvement. What is that, Brendan?
Il fit. Is faire, and it's
good. So what tense is it in?
Passé simple.
Notice the balance, people. I'll bust a gut to try and get the rest into you, but notice the balance. All right, keep going. So what is that then? So what does that mean? He?
Then he had done a movement.
No, not he had done. Fuck you hard. Do some fucking work. The passé fucking sampler. It's sampler. He.
Oh yes. Then he was doing a movement.
Oh, fuck off. Think. Passé sampler. Sampler.
Sampler.
What does that mean? What did we talk about? What was week 1 and week 2 focusing on?
He did.
Thank you. Get it? What is the oral equivalent of the passé sampler, Brendan?
Passé composé.
Which admittedly could be he has spoken or he spoke, but in a book it is the finished action. All right. In week 1, we spoke about how the I have eaten recently versus I have eaten in my life. Remember, if it's in a book, if it's a finished action, a singular action, the passé simple. All right. So that you would need to feel that. So how would you translate il fit un mouvement? How do you translate that orally, Brendan?
Il a fait un mouvement.
Good. Lovely. Denise, what tense are we seeing when we said puis il fit un mouvement avec la baguette et les lettres de son nom s'assemblèrent dans un ordre différent? What tense are we seeing there, Denise?
That is the passé composé. Oh no, but it's not.
Denise,
it is.
Pause a wee moment, my darling girl. What does passé composé mean in English?
Past composed. I'm sorry.
Which means what? Give me
I
an
mean,
example.
it's got to be two verbs.
It's got to be the past that we know. Lovely. Does
Right,
that have an
right.
auxiliary?
No, this is the passé simple.
Thank you. What group is it from if it's got the sound air? Is it?
It's from the A.
Lovely.
group.
Lukey has given everything you need. He's done this gradually over 3 weeks. What is that saying? It's reflexive. Yes. So the letters assembled, okay, in a different order or assembled themselves. What, Denise, would that be orally? The letters assembled themselves.
De son nom, des lettres se sont assemblées.
Correct. That is all it is. Well done. You might have learnt a new verb there. It might have reminded you, oh shit, that needs to be reflexive because the letters are not assembling anything else. They're assembling. So reading the book might teach you, oh great, French, orally I do that. That's the joy of reading. Let's crack on. Okay, Brendan, what is the verb beginning with M underneath where it says je suis Voldemort? What is it saying? Tu vois? What's the verb there?
It's a ER verb or an A verb. It's mémorer is the verb. It's passé composé. Il a mémoré.
It's what tense? What tense is it there though? What tense is it there?
There it's a passé simple.
Lovely. And what do I need?
What do you?
What would it be?
Il a mémoré. Murmurer. Il a mémoré.
Lovely. Okay. Or a-t-il murmuré? Yeah. A-t-il murmuré? Yeah. So you're looking at the citational forms of the verb. Good. Lovely. Next page. Le survivant. Lovely. Le survivant. Okay. No, not that one. Oh yes, let's go to le maître des potions. Denise, could you read out loud from Le Lendemain?
So sorry, le survivant or the next one?
Le maître des potions, could you read outside from Le Lendemain?
Okay, sorry, hold on 1 second.
Just one side.
Okay, sorry.
Just until the word Harry from Le Lendemain.
Sorry. It's really annoying. Okay.
Come on. It's just on your
WhatsApp. I'm sorry. I'm not finding the file.
Just on your WhatsApp. We're just working through the pictures, aren't we? It's just on your WhatsApp.
I know. I don't know why it shouldn't be so difficult.
Is it on your phone, my darling, not on your computer?
No, it's on my computer.
Do you have your phone with you?
Yes.
So could you read from the lendemain?
So it's le maître des potions, that file, right?
That's right, and I want from le lendemain as far as the word Harry. Just go, read.
Okay. Le lendemain, dès qu'il eut quitté le dortoir,
good.
Harry...
Nice reading. Stand still. Identify the tense there. Look again. Look at the spelling of U, Denise. Is there an accent on that U? Have a little think. What tense have you just read? Dès qu'il eut quitté. What tense are you looking at there?
It is the passé. No, just the EUT is passé.
Damn good question.
Simple.
Combination with the quitté. The U and the quitté. What tense is that? That's the key question.
Passé antérieur.
Well done. We've got something happening first. So that now reminds us that orally, yes, as soon as he had dès qu'il, so that might just remind you orally, or dès que. Yeah, as soon as, whatever. Good. Dès qu'il avait, that would remind you how to do the orally, you go to the have. Good. Lovely. 2 more. That's Percy Jackson. That's just only the normal one. Good, that will do for now. So next week we will do exactly the same thing. It will just literally be me finding you excerpts, you telling me which of the 4 literary tenses that we've done it is, you telling me what that will be orally. That again and again. It seems harsh, it's just the same rules over and over and over and over. Okay, I've got to go. Well done. It's been tough, but this is, you see the point of how we're going to lift shit. All right, good. If you've enjoyed this video, please remember to give it a thumbs up and a like. It's not for beginners. It's a very advanced thing to do, but it is completely necessary to drag your ass up. You can tell in English whether somebody reads books or whether they read in their speech. It's exactly the same in French. All right, good. Well done. All right, well done. All right, Brendan, see you later.
Okay.